What's up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen that's how it's going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. This post by President Trump says the more people learn about Mamdani, the less they like him, and it's absolutely true. I definitely say that it's absolutely true. And one thing about it, and the sad thing about it, is that a lot of people aren't paying more attention like they should. I wish more people pay attention. I've learned. I didn't really know much about Mamdani. I seen things about him and stuff, and I tried to do more and more research on this guy. And one thing about it is that people need to actually pay attention. Definitely need to pay attention. This is a post by Scott Jennings saying, "I agree with President Trump. The more people learn about Zohran Mamdani, the more horrifying he becomes as a candidate." Check it out right here.
And all the way from Asia, President Trump weighed in on the race tonight, claiming, quote, "The more people learn about Mamdani, the less they like him."
Well, first of all, I agree with the president. I think the more people learn about Mamdani, the more they see these old videos of him saying outrageous things about any number of issues. These things are surfacing. People are seeing them maybe for the first time as they decide who to vote for. And they're thinking, what are we about to do here in New York City? Not to mention the fact that the kid has literally no experience running, doing anything in his life at all that would have prepared him to run New York City. It's the financial capital of the world, for goodness sakes. It's one of the most complicated political jobs in the world, and you're going to turn it over to somebody who has no track record whatsoever. So I think the president's right. I do think the polling shows he's likely to win because, Cuomo, I mean, let's be honest, pretty flawed guy too, and the Republicans don't have much of a party there. So this fragmented field with a flawed opposition in a city that doesn't really, elect Republicans all that often, that's probably going to put Mamdani in office. But pray for the people of New York. Schumer is interesting because he's already taken the government hostage because he's afraid of getting a primary from his left. That's why we're in the middle of a shutdown right now. I don't know why he just wouldn't go ahead and take the full plunge and endorse Mamdani too and try to appease these radicals in his party even further.
Well, he by a huge British paper yesterday saying that Bill de Blasio, another former New York City mayor, was claiming that Mamdani's proposals weren't achievable, weren't workable. It has been taken down. He said that he never spoke to that reporter. And the newspaper said today that one of the reporters was duped by someone who was pretending to be de Blasio and gave fake quotes criticizing Mamdani.
Of all the identities in the world to steal, Bill de Blasio's, that would be pretty far down on my list, but somebody did it.
Well, one thing about it, and I do agree with Scott Jennings. People are seeing that. There's a lot of things, within this, this whole Mamdani dude. I've been seeing different posts and different things, by him. And I seen some stuff, about, his mother. He has never had like a real job, that he claims he's had. But it's a lot of, one thing that I do not like. Let me tell y'all something I do not like. You literally have a person that already, people are questioning, if he, is a true American, people are questioning these things, but you have a person that you don't really know a lot about. We've seen this, we've seen this many times, we've seen this many times. There's more and more things that's coming out, when this person, he'll say, oh, this individual, or I did this, or I did that. And then somebody actually do research within that, and it comes up to be not true. And you don't like things like that. And I don't know why people don't pay attention to stuff like that. I keep seeing, different things, and I would hear him say something. I'm like, man, I need to go check on that. Let me make sure, because you hear so many, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of individuals that's like that. I seen a post about former President Obama, and I don't, know as far, I want to, get a great, just clarification on it. But I seen something about, him working with Mamdani, and it threw me off, it threw me off. Just having a, individual that's like that, a secretive, person. And you do your research on this, and it don't matter if it's family, it don't matter if it's this that they did in a different country, it don't matter. The things they say, and just like this dude Mamdani, a lot of the things that he's saying is lies. Says here, a long-time New Yorker, I still can't get over Mamdani. Literally is asking, how does a foreigner who's never had a real job walk around with massive security guards, preach communism, and be on the verge of taking over the financial capital of the world? Literally.
Look at him.
I mean, y'all truly see
Wait,
right
here. Can I see him? Oh, I'm sorry. Look at him.
It's pretty wild. I'm not even gonna lie. It's definitely pretty wild. This Speaker Mike Johnson said if Mamdani wins New York City, it'll be the biggest victory for Marxists and socialists in American history. He's called to defund the police, abolish prisons, legalize, and I can't say that word. Trust me, I've been trying to work on within my channel. I don't know what's going on my channel, but it's certain things that I cannot say on here, y'all. If y'all want to go look at this post, Speaker Mike Johnson, he posted it actually 2 days ago. Y'all know what he wants to legalize, and it's pretty crazy. If y'all don't, please go check that out. It's pretty wild. But I'm pretty sure he'll say it in the video. I probably got to blur it out, but just go check it out. Says this isn't just New York's problem. It's spreading to cities like Seattle, Minneapolis, and even Congress. Check it out.
Mamdani winning New York City would be the biggest win for the Marxists, the socialists, in the history of this country. We have, to this point, in nearly 250 years, been able to hold off those kinds of ideas. We've been able to cling to the foundational principles of America, the ideas of individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength and fiscal responsibility and free markets and human dignity. All those things are in jeopardy when the Marxists take over. And it's the clearest sign yet that the Democrats' radical Marxist wing is winning the battle for control of their party. Look at where the energy is. This should be alarming to everyone around the country. Mamdani has, of course, called to defund the police, to abolish all prisons, to legalize. He lambasted the New York PD, the New York Police Department, as a racist system. And you might have seen, if you in the media are covering this, but there was a new video uncovered from 2023, just 2 years ago, and he said, quote, "We have to be clear, when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF. Look, it's a unique talent to merge one's loathing for American law enforcement with their loathing for the Jewish people. But this guy's, he's managed to do it. New York is just the tip of the iceberg. It's not isolated to America's largest city. It's other cities as well. Look at Seattle, where the leading candidate for mayor is an open socialist. Look at Minneapolis, where the sitting socialist mayor is facing a challenge from his left flank. And look here in Congress, where we have our own wing of Marxist acolytes serving here.
Pretty crazy. Not even gonna lie. Pretty crazy. One thing about it, that I absolutely hate, and I've talked about it before, this whole defund the police. And I even covered this, within Mayor Brandon Johnson. The same person that says, to defund the police and saying this about the police, this, that, and the other, and is literally guarded by the police. What I don't like is that you literally have, now obviously this is just, one of the problems. You honestly have an individual that wants, to defund the police, not one police. And there's many things that have happened in these schools that's happened around the city. It's literally like he wants that to be, his own, rather than caring about the American people, is what it's looking to me. And it's looking like that, to others. This gentleman right here explains basically what's going to happen if Mamdani gets elected in New York. A good chance of what'll happen, I'd definitely say. Check it out.
People don't understand what it's like to elect a Muslim socialist until they elect a Muslim socialist. You could ask our friends in London. How many years has Sadiq Khan been mayor there? How's that going?
What do you think will happen in New York City if Zohran does win?
There'll be a few immediate things. One, if you're Jewish or Christian, you're going to feel extremely unsafe. You're going to be looking at a lot of the sort of Muslim street and Antifa style element behaving like complete animals because they no longer have any limitations. The police are on their side, right? Second of all, you're going to see tremendous crime. Those same liberal white girls that are probably going to be why Mamdani wins, if he does, are going to be the first on the chopping block. And it's going to be awfully satisfying, grimly so, when they're the ones getting sexually harassed in the subway, because guess what? They're the first in line. Because there's no one protecting them, and they're gonna wonder about their vote at that point. But of course, by then,
why do you say awfully satisfying?
Huh?
Why do you say awfully?
And basically, what I agree with him is that this is something that happened in multiple cities. I definitely say, just like we talked about Mayor Brandon Johnson. Y'all know, and y'all know how real I am with stuff, and I'm not gonna hold back. Y'all know, right there in Chicago, they did the same thing with Mayor Brandon Johnson. They love Mayor Brandon Johnson. They want to say this about him. They want to say that about him. This, that, and the other. And then now they want him. They want him. They don't like him. They don't like him. They don't want him as mayor. You know, they don't even want Pritzker. But that's what I'm saying is those things. Is those things like that people are understanding. So I see exactly what you said. Once Mamdani is elected and he's doing what he want to do, people are going to start realizing, man, why did we do this? And that's what people that's what I don't like. I always say on my channel, make sure y'all are doing y'all research, make sure y'all are looking. I know y'all know, but for the people that are clicking on my video that feel some type of way about my views or, you know, another's views, and y'all are liking this, you know, this Mamdani person, actually do your research. Actually listen to the video. Listen to what people are saying. Listen to those New Yorkers who actually live there. Listen to those people. I'm telling y'all, it's
about
important.
their vote at that point, but of course by then.
Why do you say awfully satisfying?
Huh?
Why do you say awfully satisfying?
Because there is something deeply satisfying about someone facing the unintended consequences of their actions. I don't find it satisfying because I like it. It's horrendous. But the fact that they actively voted for this while claiming people like myself and yourself are racist, are fascist,
Exactly.
are Nazis. Let's see if they think that way still when they're getting assaulted by some guy who should either be in prison or mental asylum.
I mean, it's that those things are all correct. I mean, those things are all correct on what he's saying, you know, and just like that, what he just said and what's so crazy is that I brought up, you know, Chicago. Those things are happening right now in Chicago as we speak. And it's sad to even say that those things are happening in Chicago as we speak. I put out so many videos, so many clips of these things happening, you know, and thinking that, oh, okay, yeah, we love this. And people got to stop doing that, bro. People got to stop putting, you know, this whole color thing and bringing up race and this, that, and the other. Actually look at a person who's good for that job. You know, instead of individuals and hyping up individuals that really, truly don't care about Americans. People need to pay attention. I'm telling y'all, people actually need to pay attention. This is the same person, you know, Zohran Mamdani, you know, that we're talking about, literally going after J.D. Vance. Check it out.
This language from the vice president of this country, it betrays so much of the promise that we have as a nation. And I stand here in Diversity Plaza proud to be an immigrant New Yorker, proud to call this borough my home, a borough where there are more languages spoken than most cities in the world, and proud to be on the precipice of becoming the first immigrant mayor of the city in generations. And the fact that the vice president would view someone speaking a different language in this country as something that should be avoided, as something that could be pushed out of our reality.
That's crazy.
It is.
And I know a lot of people, y'all might have to turn up the volume. And that's why I really haven't said anything. So y'all can have that chance to turn up the volume. I do apologize. I'm hearing exactly like what y'all hearing. And this video is not high in volume at all.
It is so emblematic of the politics that we are trying to show a contrast to, a politics that has room for each and every person that calls the city home.
One thing about this is that you can definitely tell that this guy, you know, and, you know, he says right here about people wanting to live among, wanting to live only among those who share their language. You know, it betrays so much of the promise that we have as a nation. Says this guy needs to be deported immediately. Let me tell y'all something. What's crazy about this, like I just said, this is an individual, literally an individual that constantly is more so of trying to change New York City, you know, to be his own. You know, I know a lot of y'all know exactly what I mean by that, but it's pretty sickening. It's definitely pretty sickening. But one thing about it is that when it all comes down to it, I cannot wait to, you know, give that I told you so. Definitely. This is, again, Zohran Mamdani going after President Trump. This right here just goes to show you the disrespect that this guy has, truly.
But if you want to pursue your promise to create the single largest deportation force in American history, or your promise to persecute and punish your political enemies, then you will have to get through me to do that here in New York City.
Like he's somebody. Like he's truly somebody. You have to get through me. One thing that people don't understand is President Trump, and I'm not saying this to glaze, I'm not saying this to be, that person that's one person that you really don't want to fool with. I mean, there's a lot of people that you can ask. I mean, ask Fannie Willis, ask Letitia James. There's a whole list of people that I can go down. I'm telling y'all, ask Jasmine Crockett. Chuck Schumer next. I'm telling y'all. Making it seeing he's seeing, he's that person here. He's seeing. It may not look like he's paying attention. It may look like, he's throwing this joke out, he's throwing this video. Trust me, one of those individuals that work, quietly. Work quietly, but then when it comes out, it's gonna come out. People gonna see. They gonna see. They gonna see what's going. Man, I'm telling y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a whole list of individuals that in tried Trump did the same thing, and then I'm telling y'all, just believe it'll happen. This is Andy Ogles says Zohran Mamdani despises this country and is working to undermine it. He never should have been granted U.S. citizenship. Check it out.
We have to tighten down our naturalization process. We have to end the idea of anchor babies. And we have to acknowledge the fact this is our country. We get to decide who comes in. We also get to decide who has to leave. And I think Mamdani should have to leave. And again, we have the records to show that he did not disclose his affiliations with the Democratic Socialists of America. It's a communist, Marxist type organization, very anti-American. And look, don't believe, you don't have to believe my comments or if you think it's political rhetoric. Look at Sweden. You look at the immigration population is what? Roughly 10% or so, and yet 80 or so percent of the violent attacks are committed by that very demographic. And so we've allowed our cities to be flooded. We've allowed our cities to be, quite frankly, invaded by these Marxists from Africa and hostile parts of the world who don't love this country. They don't have an affiliation to this country. And look, when you look at the melting pot that the United States was during the greatest generation, World War I, World War II, and subsequently, those folks came here and wanted to start a life. They wanted to be an American. They came by boat. They passed the Statue of Liberty, and they were in awe and then immediately in love with this country. People like Mamdani do not love this country. They want to undermine this country. They're here to represent their values and their people and their countries, not the United States. I get attacked for being vocal, but that's okay. That's why I signed up for this job. And I'm not going to be quiet while the cities of America are overrun by these Muslim Marxists.
Trust and believe. I support him. I support him fully for everything he just said. I don't know about y'all, but I support him fully for what he just said, just based off of what I've been continue to say. This is something that he's trying to change, something that he's trying to do, and that's not cool. I'm telling y'all, it's not cool. It's very sickening. It's truly sickening. I tell him about it. It's truly sickening on what he's trying to do and what he is. One thing that I've actually learned, is that individuals, they come and they'll literally wave, their flags more so one day. And I that's one thing that I've learned that I cannot stand. I'm not about to sit here and act like, what I mean? I just don't like that. I truly don't like that whatsoever. That people would come in, they want one way, they flags, they want to make everything about their country, the sole country that they don't want to, be at. And come here and do it without, waving an American flag. Being that so much of, grateful in a sense. Grateful. This is an amazing country. And countries, you had it, you had your problems and, everything's not perfect. But one thing about it is that this is an amazing country. I don't know about y'all, but I think so, Says here, there's another post by President Trump. Y'all can find this, Benny Johnson's X account. Says, as President of the United States, I'm not going to let the communist lunatic destroy New York. Rest assured, I hold all levers and I have all the cards. I'll save New York City and I'll make it hot and great again, just like I did with the good old USA. And one thing about it is that I truly, truly, truly trust and I believe President Trump on what he's saying because he is doing it. Each and every day, he's doing it. And I absolutely love it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next video. Definitely a banger. I wouldn't even lie to y'all. Catch y'all next one.